Welcome everyone to this week's episode of In the Know with Kat Bobino. Today my extra special guest is Mrs. Anita Darden Gardyne, and she has her own business called Oneva. So can you tell us a little bit about your business?
Absolutely. First, I have to confess my name is Anita Darden Gardyne, and I am the CEO of Oneva, and I am excited to share my company with you. We're a technology company. If you think about Uber, they send out cars and you don't know who the driver is. With our technology platform, what we do is we send out FBI background checked infant care, elder care, house cleaning. Our platform's agnostic, whatever services you need to make your life easier. We're very fortunate that we've developed our technology and we're rolling our technology out with Microsoft. So right now in the San Francisco Bay Area, Microsoft employees are able to access our platform to buy infant care, elder care, and those other services we talked about.
Wow, that is great. So with these services, I know with tech companies like Microsoft, they already have such great amenities where they have free food, or sometimes they get free travel in their cars and bicycles. But now through your company, they're also getting infant care. They're getting like top-notch, just extra stuff on top of being a tech company, which is why I don't understand why I went into science. I should have went into tech.
Exactly.
Because they seem to have way more stuff available to their employees.
They take care of them very well because, again, what Microsoft wants is to attract the best workers. So they want the workers to come there, not to those other companies. And imagine having your house cleaned. What Microsoft really wants to give their employees is time and balance. And that's a great resource and benefit that you can't get even if they'll bring you food at work or you can stay and work until midnight because there's an open restaurant on campus. I'd much rather be in a Microsoft world where somebody can come to my home and give my spouse a massage and know that my company will pay for it as a part of my benefit.
Wow. That is amazing. I think to the science world, I feel like you guys should take a minute and take a look at this type of entity because we like science. We want to work, but if we can go home to a massage and food and our house clean, I think that would be amazing.
Absolutely, thank you. And we'll be hiring cooks as well. So come home for a home cooked meal. So again, Microsoft's focus and the focus of Oneva and our technology platform is to make lives better for employees like Microsoft employees.
So how about you give us a list one more time of all the amenities that you can get through your company?
Currently today, we have infant care, elder care, driving, special needs care, pet care, house cleaning, and massage.
Wow. So 7 different things that you can get through Oneva, and this is only for Microsoft employees?
Currently only for Microsoft employees. Again, what we do, our technology platform is built into Microsoft's benefits portal. So imagine you're a Microsoft employee and you log into your portal and you want to buy your Kaiser or you want to buy your Delta Dental. Now you can simply go to your Oneva page and you can sign up for Oneva. Once you are part of our platform, imagine we're sitting here today having a conversation and we realize that our child needs to be picked up from school. A simple text will result in a concierge at Oneva having your child picked up and cared for by an FBI background check worker, because all the necessary information to provide exceptional care for your child that you've provided and your child's provided is all contained within the platform. So we know where school is and what the routine is. We know when you want your child home from school, you want them interacting with books and using the computer to learn, as opposed to maybe watching YouTube videos like my child does. And it's okay to have that, but I'm looking for the adult who's watching my child to bring that balance and to enforce my rules. So as a mom with my older child, and I use the expensive nanny myself, I found I'd come home to my child watching television and eating microwave food.
Oh, wow.
And that's not the kind of experience that we look for at Oneva. Again, if it's your child or your mother or even your pet, you want to ensure that they're having the best possible service and being cared for as if you were there.
Right. That is amazing. I would love that opportunity to work a full day, and if you had to stay late, maybe there's a meeting, maybe there's something going on, and to know that your child, your pet, your parent, your house is fully taken care of.
Absolutely. And one of the things that is surprising us since we launched our platform on February 27th is that 65% of those booking are men, and that 80% of what they're asking for is house cleaning.
Those must be those single men in tech who are, you can call me, that need help at their home. So that's really cool.
Absolutely.
So you just rolled out in February?
Just rolled out in February for the San Francisco Bay Area. Microsoft has about 3,000 employees here, and they have a total of 60,000 employees domestically, largely in 5 cities.
Okay, so what's next then? Since you're here, you started in February, you're already growing tremendously.
Continue to grow here. And then we are talking to Microsoft later this month to talk about product expansion as well as geographic expansion. So as mentioned, we'd love to get to all 60,000 employees, and we also have some additional pretty neat and exciting items that we'll be rolling out with our platform, and we'll be rolling out a second patent as well, and a third patent. So some additional work underway.
So I believe, isn't Microsoft an international company?
Yes.
So you might be able to, in the future, take this internationally.
Are you reading my business plan?
No.
Fernando Hernandez, who's the Director of Supplier Diversity for Microsoft, he oversees $2.7 billion in spending with women and minority-owned firms. Just last week, he made us aware that Microsoft would like us to take on their 60,000 global employees as well, which is great because our technology platform with its next iteration will be designed for GDPR 2018 standards, which means we can travel to Europe and support those Microsoft employees there. And we've also had European countries travel here and invite us to provide care in Europe. So we'll be ready to go.
Wow, that is amazing. Congratulations on all of that.
Thank you.
So please tell me, how did this even come about? How did you even think about this? Where did this concept come from? Tell me how this started from the beginning.
Well, there's a long story there, but to try and consolidate it, for us, my husband and I had 2 careers, both really busy. We had 1 child, and we had that same struggle. How do we get to our child? Fortunately, as an engineer, his company was acquired for $3.25 billion by Nortel. He didn't get $3.25 billion. So anybody looking for my house, he did not get $3.25 billion. He got enough so I could quit my job and stay home and be with our son, which was awesome. But in that moment, I was CFO at a company called Quantum. I was overseeing a $3.25 billion business. And had they had a program like this, that would have made me feel better about having my child so far away. I live in Oakland and worked in Milpitas. My husband worked in Cupertino. That's the tech industry in the San Francisco Bay Area. Had I had that benefit, maybe things would have worked differently. You know, at the same time, I'm a Richmond native here, Richmond, California. I'm the youngest of 8. I had the privilege of starting to go to Cal when I was 15. Because of some great programs designed to show folks like me about STEM and what you can do with a STEM education. So it was because of that experience I started to question, why does the world work the way it works? How come some people don't have access to great paying jobs? How come it seems to be communities are built in a certain way? So I had an opportunity to study things like urban economics and understand they really did put those tracks in places to wall people off and seal communities. So I can certainly say, since completing an undergraduate degree in economics and a second in economics in the Black community back in '86, always in my mind has been, how do you create lots of great paying jobs with livable wages and drive up the labor force participation rates from communities like my Richmond and now my home in Oakland, as well as lots of other cities who also want to benefit from the tech boom that we see.
Right.
So that was the origin for us. And again, it's about creating living wage opportunities and a job ladder. So we talk about folks coming in and doing care, but we can grow them into other roles, and we've proven it. So that's my passion from sort of way back when, and I married that with the business reality of, wouldn't it be great if we were able to bring more balance into people's lives? But I have to tell you, the key to it all is we bring the tech. And in that regard, I got to give the credit to my mother, because she arranged my marriage to my husband of 30 years.
She arranged your marriage?
My marriage is pretty arranged.
Okay.
I did bring him home, but I think there was a cow or a bag of gold that exchanged hands at some point. And next thing I knew, we were married at 20. I was 23, he was 25.
It worked, though.
30 years later,
It worked.
8 patents, One we share for Oneva, for awarded, but he's a technologist, and when I came to him with this idea, he actually said, hey baby, I can build this for you.
Nice.
So we just make an awesome team in that regard, in terms of what we bring together as co-founders and how we could create the technology that makes all this happen.
That's really cool. So with your background in economics, urban economics, and his background in technology, we're able to build this platform together to create balance for people throughout the Bay Area who's working in the tech field right now, who might need that extra help.
Absolutely.
You know, coming home or not being able to come home at a certain time.
Absolutely. But what we know is it's a global issue. As mentioned, folks from Finland have traveled here 3 times to say we have the second fastest aging population in the world.
Wow.
And we love to have your technology platform because we believe you provide the best elder care in the world. And it's not just the technology, but the processes we put around that. So they've asked us to help them by bringing over our tech and helping them know how to create those jobs, because we create a lot of jobs.
So what type of jobs are you creating outside of the 7 services that you're providing?
Well, again, Oneva's a tech company, so I'm surrounded by engineers. So we have a group of engineers right now. There's 6.5 of them in the team, in the organization.
And then we have.
Well, we have one. We have one person who's actually doing some HR related work, and she graduates.
Okay.
From San Francisco State later this month.
Nice. Congratulations.
So Belaine is her name. She's done a fantastic job, and with graduation, maybe we can turn her into a whole person.
Nice.
A whole full-time person, not a whole person.
That's good. Okay, so you're creating jobs not only in the service, but in the tech world as well, in engineering.
IT. I mean, to grow right now, we need marketing skills. Now that we have access to this population, it's how do we communicate the messages with the population? How do we drive growth? As you've pointed out, how do we expand into new markets domestically and globally? So we have a number of different skill sets that we are looking for, and I appreciate you asked that. Please email us at jobs@oneva.com. We are hiring.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Take that opportunity, email, and see if you can find a job, because I might do the same thing. So once you decided, like, how long ago did you have this idea, and then how long did it take you to actually implement the idea, get it out there?
We decided in about 2013 that we wanted to pursue this, and we actually took a really nice vacation, which was smart because we ended up spending all of our money on the business and then lots of other people's money on the business. But we came back and just worked on the business plan until December 2013. And at that point, I was fortunate. I had a previous boss. He was the CEO I worked for at a company called IDG. And he introduced us to some great attorneys, and we were picked up by Rachel Prophet and Kai Nishimura at WSGR. So they incorporated us in January 2014 and have provided all the legal work for us. So it took from that period of time to get to here. And we've had a pivot along the way where you go out and you think, this is how my business is going to work. And then you get slapped by the reality of the real world. And you make that pivot, and then you go, okay, I'm better and I'm stronger. And you move from there. But it really, we were in the consumer business for 14 and into mid 15. And that's when you have a Fortune 50 company come to you and say, can we talk about your platform supporting, over 100,000 global employees? At that point, we pivoted to enterprise.
Right.
Really quickly.
Yes. And how did you get in touch with Microsoft? Did they get in touch with you? Like, how did that marriage happen?
Reverend Jackson.
Really? So Reverend Jesse Jackson is that reason for you?
Reverend Jesse Jackson is that reason. Reverend Jesse Jackson held an event back in December 2014, and he had maybe 50 entrepreneurs in the room. At first, we were with all of Meg Whitman's direct reports at HP. The next morning, we were with George Zinn, the CFO of Microsoft, and Gwen Houston, their VP Diversity and Inclusion. And later in that day, we were introduced to BK's direct reports at Intel. So it was through that introduction and those relationships, which were all formed in that day, that we've been able to move forward with not only Microsoft, but other companies that we're under NDA with.
Oh, wow.
All thanks to Reverend Jackson. He came to the Valley and he said he was going to create change, and he did it.
And he did it. And you are proof of that.
Absolutely.
You are absolute proof of what can happen if you were to actually take that step forward, follow your dreams, and go to these types of seminars or open platforms where there's someone like Reverend Jesse Jackson who's trying to put his foot out there to get you out there.
Absolutely. And what he did is he provided access, because all we need sometimes is that access, because maybe we didn't go to that certain school, or maybe we didn't, you know, come from that certain zip code.
Right.
But I was still able to get access to Gwen Houston, VP Diversity and Inclusion.
Yes.
And since then to be mentored since 2014 by Microsoft. So we found ourselves in a very fortunate position. But let's face it, we also worked really hard. We hustled. We showed up with a great presentation proposal that my co-founder Bob Gardyne had put together. I'll admit I was trying to pitch the Microsoft CFO for his money.
Yes.
But my co-founder was smart enough to pitch it. We pitched him for everything. So we were just very fortunate in that moment. But I'll also add, as I think about it, in that moment when I was pitching George Zinn about why you want to invest in my company, there was a gentleman standing next to him by the name of Thurman White. Okay. Thurman White, CEO of Progress Investments, was there. And he was also trying to pitch George. And he finally stopped trying to pitch and sat and listened and said, I may need to invest in you. Today, he is my lead investor.
Wow.
He's invested several times, and I've raised just under $900,000. There are only 10 women, I believe, who've raised $1 million, Black women in America. So I'm very excited about being on the brink of being 11, but I'm also very excited to say we do have Black angels.
Yes.
We do have brown angels. We do have yellow angels. We do have female angels. They exist. We even have some great white guys who exist, and white women exist. We have a fabulous, diverse team around Oneva of investors and advisors, but it just does bring me great joy to know that I have Black angels, because so many of us just don't know that they exist.
Right.
And they're there.
They are there. I mean, once you find the right one and you give them the right presentation, you tell them what you want to do, and you have that spirit and that drive, they see that in you.
Absolutely.
And then they want to invest in you, which is amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you. And they have to know you over time, right?
Right.
First day they meet you, they're not going to write that check. Thurman met me in December, and then he saw me again in May. And then he wrote that first check. So it took a good 6 months, and his first question is, well, how am I going to find you if you take my money?
Oh, my God. What did you tell him? He said, I'm right here. I'm right here. We'll go anywhere.
I'm from Richmond. You can find me. But you can tell. I've not gone anywhere. I've moved all the way from Richmond to Berkeley to Oakland in 54 years. I don't, in another 100, maybe I'll make it to San Leandro.
Maybe you need to hit San Lorenzo first. Hit San Lorenzo first, and then San Leandro.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you got to Castro Valley, you've gone too far. We don't need to go further than that. We're done.
I was stopping and saying.
We don't want to go. Not that there's anything wrong with Castro Valley.
I have a sister who lives in Castro Valley, and it is a lovely place.
It is a very lovely place.
And I love it there.
Yes, I am not a hater of Castro Valley. If that's where you want to be, I just wouldn't go further than Castro Valley.
You are sad.
That's just my personal opinion. But anywho, back to you and your company and what you're doing, which is so amazing. So what do you see for the future? Like 5 years from now, what do you see for your company?
I see my company being a part of a much larger company. I see my company being acquired.
Okay.
So there are 2 companies that I talked to today that I would love to buy us in the future when we're a great big company with more than just Microsoft on the platform. So we'd like to see that exit happen around 2020.
Well, 2020. Okay. So in about 3 more years, you're going to grow it and then
sell it.
And then y'all go back on that great vacation. Your family will do another big vacation.
We have 2 children. Well, one is in 7th grade, so she'd be in high school.
Yeah.
So I was very fortunate to be able to be home with my son in high school, and I certainly would love to be able to do that with our daughter.
Oh, that's really nice, though. You
best.
can take her on vacation with you. You don't have to leave her here. You can do once you sell the company in 3 years, you can take her.
She got to finish school. Come on.
Summers are for.
And she is a STEM child.
So what is her interest?
What is not her interest? Her favorite magazine is Scientific American. She beats Dad to the door for it every day.
Nice.
I have to confess, I actually did meet my husband and co-founder at Bank of America's telecom department. So I actually did work my way through school as an engineer, and I have a technical background. I've done large-scale system implementations at Pacific Bell and other companies. So he and I have also worked throughout our career on large-scale system implementations and different projects. So our daughter, a lot like Dad, coding, Black Girls Code. She's participated in those events. She's really anxious to learn trigonometry. Right now, she's in 7th grade. So
there's a 7th grade child out there anxious to learn trigonometry.
Yes.
That's not something you hear every day.
Yes. And her idea of fun is, let's talk about your favorite quotes from Shakespeare.
Okay. Well, you have a very unique child.
She is her daddy's daughter. Yes.
That is amazing. I have absolutely no hate for that. I think that is amazing. If I ever have kids, I would want a child like that. I think. I don't know. She might drive you a little crazy. I don't know. But I think that that is kind of a really nice.
She's a different girl, but
right.
she walks to the beat of her own drummer, and she's
all
honest
good.
about who she is, and she's just thriving and living life. So I'm very proud of my little girl.
I actually had a conversation earlier today on the phone with a friend of mine. I was telling him how one day I was walking actually from here to BART, and they were feeding the homeless, and they had dropped food all into all over the street, but there was a grate. And all you saw was these little fingers coming out, and it was mice. It was like a ton of mice with their little paws coming out. And I thought it was cool, and I was going to take a video, and I was telling everyone around me, hey, look at this. I'm a scientist, though, and I work with animals, so I thought it was cool. You know, he thought it was weird, and he called me weird. But he also said I walk to the beat of my own drum, too, so I don't have a problem with that.
I have one phobia, and it is mice.
Oh.
So as you were describing that, if the camera was on me, you saw a look of horror, okay?
I'm sorry.
Oh, my gosh. I don't like mice. They're small, and I'm convinced if one touches me, I'll die.
You know what? I think people on the street were convinced of that, because when I said it, and I was like that only person, like, oh my God, look at all these mice. They started jumping over the grate and running away, and I'm like, they're not going to pull you down. This is not a scary movie. You won't die. Like, the mice is not going to pull you into that
I want to see your case study. You show me.
I don't believe
a big giant mouse is going to come grab me.
Yeah.
Take me
I don't think that's going to happen. They don't want to be around you either.
Oh, well, it works for me. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Ninja Turtles, so I do get the whole. I do get the whole thing. Living underground.
Master Splinter, he was a rat, so he was down there with the turtles.
But he was okay. He wore a robe. Okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
But yes, anyway, so we have about 7 minutes left.
Wow.
And in this time, I just want to let you have an opportunity to talk more about your company for a little bit, explain exactly what it is and who you are. And then after that, I would like for you to just tell us what you do outside of work. Like, what do you do for fun? What do you have fun doing?
We don't want to find out. No,
Okay.
Of course we have fun. Tell you a little bit more about Oneva. Well, as mentioned, it's a technology platform. We're excited about having that technology be made available not only to Microsoft employees, but we are starting to talk to some other companies, which makes us excited because we certainly want to grow the business. We're also excited that we get to talk to Microsoft about how to build out the platform and make it even better. I mentioned that there's some additional patents that we want to file. The second one will be a hardware patent. And that excites me because not a lot of folks, again, think about how many black females have patents out there. Mm-hmm. But we're the old guys in the room. So every time we see a problem that we solve, we come up with a creative way to do it. And we like to build technology around pain points. Whereas some people just like to build technology and hope somebody gravitates to it. So we have a very different approach, and that's how we've built the platform, and that's how we'll continue to grow and continue to be successful in the market from a technology standpoint, and certainly now as we expand from a market standpoint.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, what do you do for fun? What do you do outside of work?
Because my co-founder is also my husband of 30 years, we work a lot. And we need to do better at doing things that aren't work-related. The time we do take aside is really spent around our family. Okay. So as mentioned, we have a 7th grade daughter. So we love that she has her kickboxing 3 days a week. She's on the debate team. She has a tutor. We make time to do those things ourselves. Even though you say, gee, you run a care company, wouldn't you have somebody go pick your child up? Well, our daughter sacrifices a lot in having two parents working in a startup. So we like having that time with her and making sure she still is able to enjoy her middle school experience. I don't know about you, but I hated junior high when it was called junior high.
Yes.
And having that support and being there, especially with the academic rigor that happens with middle school, it's important to be there. One thing I think I can certainly say now as compared to when I was in school back in the 70s, I know the ancient times, the academic demands are significant today. And today's young people really need to be ready with math and science if they want to be competitive for jobs. Let me be very clear, even these caregiving jobs.
Say that into this camera.
One more time. Well, math and science is essential to be competitive in future jobs. As we talk about the care jobs at Oneva, those jobs still require you to interact with technology. It still requires you to have that capability, that technical understanding, and that knowledge. Our concierges, they sometimes catch bugs. They have to work with us to make our technology better. So even if you think, gee, I can go and get a job that pays $20 an hour doing elder care, still got to be able to use technology in order to get to that. And certainly to get to those outstanding jobs as engineer or as the business owner, you need to have those skills in your basket. So I would certainly say for anybody within the range of my voice, math, math, math. The level of math that you're comfortable with. There are different types of math. Everybody doesn't have to take math for scientists. They have math in other levels, but have that knowledge set is essential not only for working, but now as a business owner, I have to manage equity. I have to manage profit. I have to manage cash flow. All the same things we know. It's about how am I going to manage my money and what do I keep and what do I own. But it's all within that framework of how do I do that. So math is core to all those things.
It is.
So even if you want to rap or you want to be in the NBA, you want to keep all that money, you want to manage your marketing career. Look at Steph Curry. Look at how he manages himself in his marketing portfolio. He's managing his numbers.
Yes.
And so.
And when he stops playing and his wife Aisha stops cooking, they will be just fine.
Exactly.
They will be just fine.
But everybody needs math.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely. Math is a universal language. My degrees are in biology, but you still need math for chemistry. You need math for physics, and you're gonna have to take those classes if you decide you want to go into science. So,
absolutely.
Math is very important. In 2 minutes,
yes, ma'am.
What advice would you give to anyone who sees what you're doing and owning your own company and in that tech field? What advice would you give them to be able to go to that next level like you did?
One, network. I met Reverend Jackson because I found a rainbow push phone number on the website and left a message, and 3 months later got a call back. 2 months after that, I'm in a room with direct reports to CEOs of 3 Fortune 20 companies.
Wow.
So get out there, take the chance, you never know. And like any good running back, keep your feet moving.
Yes.
As long as you don't stop, you can make progress and you still have a shot at crossing that line. It is challenging for every entrepreneur, but it's also sometimes challenging for folks who look like me or for women. And being honest, we're here in the San Francisco Bay Area. We all know those things. So again, it's about being prepared to go and engage that and know that it's a great place to work. There are great opportunities, and we are changing the world. I'm changing the world.
Yes, you are.
As are you.
Thank you. That is amazing. So I want to thank all my guests for watching this week's episode of In the Know with Kat Bobino. As always, if you want to get in touch with Anita, you can always send me a message. But if you want to give them that email, if they're looking for a position, you can give them that.
It is jobs@oneva.com. And we always look for investors. So if you're interested in investing in Oneva, certainly give us a call. And if you believe your company would benefit from Oneva services, you can give us a call for that too. Our website is www.oneva.com. Our phone number appears. You can send us a message from there and we will respond right away.
Awesome. Thank you again for being on my show today. And thank you guys. And I will see you next week on In the Know with Kat Bobino.